Daily Heavenly Manna, July to 20. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. John 15:20. As even the best branches in the vine, which give evidence of fruit-bearing, require pruning, so even the most honest and earnest of the Lord's people require the Lord's discipline and providential care. Otherwise, they might soon run to woodmaking also, and fail to bring forth much fruit. The true child of God, whose will has been entirely immersed into the will of the Lord, is neither offended nor discouraged by these prunings. He has learned something at least of his own unwisdom, and has confidence in the wisdom of the great husbandman. Hence, when divine providence stops his efforts in some directions, he takes the thwarting of his plans joyfully, assured that the Lord's will and the Lord's way are the best, and intended to work out a blessing. Reprint, 2465.
Have you ever felt like you're doing all the things to improve yourself, to be more effective, more fruitful maybe in your work or just life, but you just kind of hit a wall? What if the path to becoming more isn't actually about doing more, but maybe about letting go?
Strategically letting go.
Or being refined, yeah.
Exactly, refined. So today we're doing a deep dive into a really profound passage and some commentary on it. The source starts with John 15, verses 1 and 2. It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman.
And husbandman there, that just means the gardener, right? The one tending the vine.
Precisely, the master gardener.
Yeah.
And it goes on.
Yeah.
Every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit.
Purgeth it. That's the key word, isn't it? Pruning.
Mm-hmm. It's not just old words. It feels like, well, a pretty surprising blueprint for growth, even now. It really is. And what's fascinating, I think, is how this ancient idea of pruning, it offers a totally different lens on, challenges, setbacks. So our mission for this deep dive really is to explore that. How those unexpected interruptions, those times our plans just get derailed, maybe they aren't hindrances at all.
Maybe they're essential, purposeful.
Exactly. Purposeful steps on our journey towards maybe greater productivity or deeper meaning. It's kind of a radical way to think about flourishing.
It really is. So building on that, this idea that even the best branches, the fruitful ones, need pruning. Let's talk about what the source calls woodmaking. Why is avoiding that so important?
Right. The commentary makes that link explicit. It says, just like even the best branches require pruning, so do, and I'm quoting here, the most honest and earnest of the Lord's people.
Wow. So it's not just for people who are struggling. It's for those doing well, the ones who seem to be thriving already.
That's the really striking part. Because the commentary suggests, without this discipline, this purposeful intervention, even those really earnest people might soon run to woodmaking also, and fail to bring forth much fruit.
Woodmaking, what exactly does that mean in this context?
It suggests a kind of unproductive growth. It looks like growth on the outside, maybe lots of activity, busy work, expanding, but without focus. But no actual valuable fruit, no real impact.
Okay, like a business just scaling wildly without a clear plan, or someone taking on project after project until they're spread too thin.
Precisely. It's recognizing that just growing isn't always the goal. It needs to be directed, maybe purified, to be truly fruitful.
So this really reinterprets setbacks, doesn't it? How does the source suggest we should actually respond when our plans get interrupted? When our efforts are, as it says, is stopped dead or thwarted, blocked, redirected.
Yeah, it implies these aren't just random bits of bad luck. They could be intentional, part of that cultivation process.
Okay, but how do we respond to that? To being pruned, that sounds painful.
Well, the source has a pretty challenging take. It says, the true child of God, whose will has been entirely immersed into the will of the Lord, is neither offended nor discouraged by these prunings.
Neither offended nor discouraged. That's a high bar.
It is. It says they learn of his own unwisdom, basically, recognizing their own limited view, and has confidence in the wisdom of the great husbandman. It's presented as an act of trust, not just putting up with it.
And it even uses the word joyfully, right? How can someone respond to difficulty, to thwarted plans, with joy? What belief allows that?
According to the source, it's the belief that when divine providence, stops or redirects your efforts, you take the thwarting of his plans joyfully. Why? because you're assured that the Lord's will and the Lord's way are the best and intended to work out a blessing.
That's a massive shift from, frustration or anger, which is probably our usual reaction.
Absolutely. It connects back to the bigger picture. These prunings, they aren't meant to be punitive. They're purposeful. They're meant to help us bear more fruit in the long run, not less.
So it redefines success away from just constant, maybe unfocused expansion.
Towards something more focused, intentional, and ultimately more fruitful. It's really a call to trust the process, even when we can't see the whole design, trusting that there's a wisdom at work, cultivating something greater in us.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up,
Yeah.
what's the core insight here? I think it's this really counterintuitive idea that even the best, most earnest efforts, the most fruitful branches actually need this pruning, this discipline to stop them from just running to wood making, all show, no substance.
Right, so they can bring forth more fruit. And that this discipline, this thwarting of plans, can actually be met with joy and confidence, trusting in that wisdom of the great husbandman.
It sounds counterintuitive, yeah, but also maybe liberating, if you can see it that way.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. How might viewing your own challenges, your own unexpected setbacks or thwarted plans, not as random obstacles, but as essential pruning from a wise source? How might that shift change your response? And could it ultimately lead you to a kind of fruitfulness you hadn't even imagined? Something to mull over.